Alright, so Kaleidoscope is an unusual heist thriller that might seem familiar until you realize the series has a trick up its sleeve. You can watch the series in like any order to see water-soaked actors and seriously intense vaults. No wonder the shoot was so chaotic. So, your first day as a director on a new series is underwater, and you have half a day to prepare. Good freaking luck. Russell Fine explained that that's exactly what happened to him when he tried to prepare for the White episode on his first day. Thankfully, he was a cinematographer before getting into directing and knew how to plan each shot. Even though I didn't have a lot of time to prep, I did very extensive shot diagrams. So, using 2 conventional cameras, an underwater cameraman, and a scuba team, Fine was able to capture different angles, making the show feel super immersive. Actor Giancarlo Esposito, who plays the heist mastermind, made Fine's job even easier by performing his own stunts underwater. There was a speaker for the actor underwater, which meant Esposito could self-roll, cut, and hear any directions needed. You have no idea how important that is. Kaleidoscope set up one of the most elaborate vaults we've ever seen. The show has bandits trying to leak just a little bit of water into the vault, using the water main as the source. But since they're all a little pressed for time, pulling a heist and all, it turned into a brutal flood. This scene was so complex, it required a special set for the crew to be able to easily maneuver around. And it needed to be filled with water, of course. The director, Russell Fine, explained, "When you walk in the set, there's these 2 huge water tanks, and it was like a swimming pool. They could turn on the water and it just starts filling up and comes through the ceiling." Rosaline Elbe, one of the actors, said, "We'd see the big water tanks being built outside the Netflix studios, knowing that they were going to flood the set." The entire episode itself took what Elbe called a soggy 6 weeks. So what makes this show unique is that the episodes are designed to be watched in any order. While it might be fun for viewers, trying to keep the storyline organized was way more challenging. The cast said making Kaleidoscope was like trying to put a difficult puzzle together. But with the creative team keeping track of all the moving parts, the cast went with whatever came their way when filming, even if it made for a confusing experience at the time. Actors Tati Gabrielle, Jay Courtney, and Rosaline Elbe all said they were all unaware of the creator Eric Garcia's plan for the show at first. Giancarlo Esposito, however, knew early on after being sent a few versions of the script. Esposito found the concept fascinating. I was intrigued by that, but more interested in how it would all link up and how I would be able to use those links and clues to deepen my performance. It was more like shooting a movie than a series, honestly. Tati Gabrielle felt that the non-linear structure was, I think, incredibly freeing as an actor and just really fun to go through. As for Jay Courtney, things got seriously confusing. I had moments as an actor where I was like, wait, but didn't we just jump out of the building? It's like, no, that's in a couple weeks' time. When gathering inspiration for creating this heist thriller, the creator, Eric Garcia, pulled inspiration from other heist films. The fact is, heist crime, mafia, that world is my favorite stuff. One of his biggest inspirations, though, was the 1955 French crime film Rifith, which has a 30-minute-long break in dialogue, while the thieves attempt to break open a vault. Sound familiar? In the White episode's opening sequence, there's no dialogue for the first 11 minutes while the thieves do their work to get into the vault. In order to bring this vision to life and ensure viewers could start at any episode and immediately understand the story and its characters, Garcia had to create a lot of master plans that focused on things like narrative, props, and the script to piece it together. It really did take a village. I had to group about 10 people in my writers' rooms. Everybody in the room worked together, and we had a ton of whiteboards and a ton of note cards. He said it was thanks to people like the production designer Michael Bricker, the props designer Max Sherwood, and the costume designer Jenny Gehring that they were able to make the show work. They actually were excited by the crazy process. Would you be? How would you tackle it? Kaleidoscope's story may seem very specific and maybe even familiar. So, what inspired the White episode? Hurricane Sandy raged through the Caribbean and US East Coast, causing around $81.9 billion in damages. It wasn't just the physical destruction that racked up the dollars, though. During the storm, $70 billion in bearer bonds were lost in a flood, and Garcia knew the story would make a very compelling heist. Like, in real life, there may not have been actual thieves involved, but both stories involve lots of water. So for Eric Garcia, it all just made sense. That's a perfect cover-up for a heist. If I'm doing a heist, I'm going to use Hurricane Sandy as my excuse. So as it turns out, Kaleidoscope was just as thrilling for the creators and the actors as it was for us to watch. What are some of your favorite moments from this heist thriller? Do you have a preferred order to watch it in? Let us know in the comments below.